It's New Year's Eve. It's literally the last day of the year. I'm up here on my favorite spot because I'm about to get in my last skate of the year. But I wanted to just say hi to everybody, Happy New Year, and just talk a little bit about what this coming year means, whether it's for your relationships, for your career, for your friendships, your fitness, whatever it is, you have your sights set on for the next year. Whatever's holding you back, it's time to let it go. I'm gonna put my skates on right now. But yeah, I feel like there could be a lot of things that we hold on to that are stopping us from being excited for this next year. I know it's kind of been heavy, but overall for me, I'd say it's a good year. It has been a good year. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that and what a good year means for me. So for me, a good year means that I've had a lot of growth. I achieved certain goals that I have in mind. And that ultimately, when I look back, I see progress and change. I've definitely seen progress in my skating game, so that's one thing that I can say I'm super thankful about. Ah! I'm really good at putting on the one skate, but not the second one. All right. Whoa. There's a lot of features on here that I'm playing around with right now. Hi, Glenn. Happy New Year. Hi, guys. Happy New Year. It's the last day of the year. Hi, Josephine. What's up? How crazy are you, Josephine? This is my favorite spot. It's my favorite spot. This is where I come to skate. And obviously it's not the most professional setup. I literally have this. Oop is right. But Happy New Year, everybody. I thought I would have you guys join along with me for my last skate of the year and talk about what the new year is like for you guys. First of all, I feel like 2024 was full of lessons. Like, damn. A lot of lessons. Personally, I feel like I've grown through these lessons. I hope you guys have a lot of fun plans for the new year. I'm going to be working. And for me, honestly, I don't feel bad about it. I'd just be home by myself anyway because I'm in Miami now and I don't have any friends to do anything with. But I don't know, I'm just excited because I feel like a lot of us have learned a lot of crazy lessons this year that's leaving us, it's just leading us into, honestly, a really great 2025. I feel like everybody says that every year, right? That it's going to be a crazy good year. But this past year, I felt that a lot of change is going to happen. I feel like you can kind of feel it in the air when a change is coming. For me, I did not expect my life to look like it does at the end of this year. I knew it was going to change, but I did not have any clue it would be like this. So if you guys are ready to be done with the lessons, let's just say I'm done. I'm letting everything go. It's time to let go of all the stuff that's holding you back from the previous year and move into this new year of prosperity and positive growth and change. Oh, thank you, Josephine. Thank you so much. But yeah, girl, it's time for us to move forward into this new year of just prosperity for everybody, you know? Because last year and the year before, I feel like even though last year was better than the year before, it still felt really heavy. To be honest, it felt a little ghetto. I was like, I'm done with this ghetto era of my life. I'm ready for like positive change and positive impact. So I'm just wishing everybody out there a new positive growth cycle, a new positive change, positive relationships, positive energy, just everything all around. But the thing that we have to do is we have to let go of all the negativity that we maybe encountered last year or the year before. So I'm going to share something with you guys. My ex of 10 years that I was engaged to, from before I started this channel, he got engaged like I think a week ago now, or a couple of weeks ago. And it's not that it's like I'm happy for him, but also not, because I just don't care. But I feel like for so long I was allowing that to be a part of my story. Like the fact that I was engaged, and the fact that, you know, I called off my wedding, and the fact that it was such a traumatic experience for me. And then something put it into perspective the other day when I was thinking, I was like, for so long, part of my story is that I was kind of like the victim in this. I called off my wedding, my life changed, everything became uncomfortable, which is what change is. And I never stopped to think about the fact that I did those things. I made that decision to change it. But ultimately, I looked at it as such a negative part of my life that all this stuff happened to me. I didn't even think for a moment I was the one who called off a 10-year relationship and broke off a wedding 2 months before. And also, I moved on so quickly after calling off my wedding. Like, I definitely felt an aspect of guilt from that. And I'm really glad I didn't marry him. I'm really glad that I moved on from that. But I just realized that for so long that was part of my story. And finally, something in me just said, let it go. That's not you. Because at the end of the day, had I married that person, I kind of feel like when you get married, your life stops and you become whatever version of yourself for the rest of your life. Like whatever version you are when you do get married, that's the version of yourself that you are pretty much for the rest of your life. You still dress that way. The interests are the same. Whatever you guys do in your routine, that becomes your routine. Ultimately, I'm happy. But I realized part of me it didn't fully let go of that part of me that felt victimized by the fact that I made a decision to grow and change. So, I mean, it's a little bit of perspective, but when you are forced to push yourself or take yourself out of a negative situation or environment, you have to look at it differently. You knew something was wrong. You knew that you needed to change up something, whatever it is. You knew that it wasn't working, and you knew that ultimately it was going to end at some point. You just weren't ready to end it. You weren't ready for the discomfort that came with ending it. And so when we look back on those things, we look at it as something so painful, something so uncomfortable, and something that's ultimately happening to us. Because when something's not working, the universe, God, whatever it is you believe in, is going to find a way to take it out of your life, to kind of ease the situation. And so when you look back at it, even though you realize it's painful, you have to understand it was happening for you, not happening to you. So when you look back, as the countdown is happening and as you're welcoming 2025, just remember that all these happened to you. All these things happened for a reason. It wasn't working. And you weren't brave enough at that time to do something about it, so it happened. But it's over now. And you can either choose to focus and dwell on the pain of what happened because you stayed in it so long it had to get painful enough for you to leave, or you can look at it as a positive and say, thank you so much for forcing me to be uncomfortable and changing my situation. So I know a lot of you guys found my channel through the videos that I made about quitting my job. And that was the first step to becoming the version of myself that I am now, the version of myself that I like. Because to be honest, I did not like that version of myself. When I look back, the person that I am now would never tolerate the stuff that the person I was before would do. And ultimately, 2025 for me is just going to be about growth. It's going to be about accepting positive change, understanding that, yeah, instead of saying why me, why not me, is going to be my motto. Because I think that we all deserve everything that we want. And for so long, because I felt victimized by my own decisions, I always felt like everything was happening to me. And the why not me was more weighted like, why are positive things not happening for me? But now it's why not me? When something good happens to me, instead of thinking to myself, oh wow, I'm so lucky, this is crazy, this is amazing, this is luck. No, it's not luck. You deserve it. You deserve every positive thing that's coming to you. And you need to shift your mindset to understand that you deserve every blessing that is coming your way. So enough of this thinking that you don't deserve something better. It's time to leave the negativity behind. Go into this new year. If there's a job that you're trying to leave, put in the time, put in the energy. Go submit applications, walk into places, get another job to hold you over until you find your dream job. Honestly, for me, I didn't find a new job right away that I loved. The job that I fell into after I quit that job, I hated. I hated it because it felt like I was moving backwards. And honestly, it's tough. It's really tough when you have to just suck it up and say, listen, I have to move out of my beautiful apartment. I have to stay on my mom's couch or live in my parents' basement. I have to take a job that frees up my days, but it's making less money and it's not as prestigious. Sometimes the way up, like if you've ever seen a staircase is built like this. A line goes like this. When you're on the staircase, you don't always see the high point at the end, because if you're going straight, all you see is a wall. So sometimes when we're making progress, it's like nothing happens for a long time because you're on that middle flat plane of the staircase. But then all of a sudden, you hit a wall and it feels like you're going nowhere. And then suddenly, you have everything you need to climb up that wall and make it up to the next stage. And then you look back and you see, oh wow, this was actually a staircase. I kind of had to do this to get there. So there's no shame in asking for help. There's no shame in taking a step back if you feel like it's gonna lead you to what you want. If something isn't working in your job, if you're overworked, if you're underpaid, whatever it is, find a solution. Get out of there. Because ultimately, it's going to change when it gets too uncomfortable for you to stay. And at that point, you're gonna wish you had left it sooner. A relationship. Relationships are the hardest because sometimes we stay in a relationship because we've just been in one for so long. Like, well, we've been together for 3 years. We've been together for 5 years. We've been together for, my case, 10 years. It took me 10 years to leave the person that wasn't right for me. And I knew they weren't the right person for me. That is way too long to stay in a relationship that you know that's not gonna go anywhere. And the whole time I was engaged, it gave me anxiety and I hated the thought that my life was going to end the day that I married this person. But I still went along with it because of all the pressure of what everybody else thought. 15 years, bro, what are you doing? But that's what I'm saying. It's like we stay in these relationships way too long because we're hoping things will change, or we've been with them for that long. It's like the devil you know versus the devil you don't know. We don't know what's out there that's better because we're not willing to clear the space to welcome somebody else in. But it's such a long time to waste knowing that the person is not with you. You should not be staying in a relationship just because you've been together for so long. And I'll give you guys the advice that my mother told me, because the thing is, when you're going through it and you know that somebody's not right for you, your friends, your family, whoever it is, they never say, oh, just leave, just break up with them. Oh, they're not the person that you should be with. No. Instead, they say things like, they're always super cryptic. oh, well, you have to make this decision for yourself. And, oh, well, think about what you really want. Well, I don't know what I want, because my heart's telling me one thing, my head is telling me another thing, and then all the stuff I see on social media and everything that everyone's saying, like congratulations and can't wait for the wedding, is saying a whole other thing than what my heart truly wants. So we have all this pressure to stay in a situation that we don't necessarily want, and that's not healthy for us ultimately, because we're just fighting this inner turmoil the entire thing. I like that. Live by faith, not by sight. I saw the most amazing quote the other day, and this reminded me of that, Sean. It says, faith and fear have more in common than people realize, because faith and fear are guiding you based on something that you can't see. So if you're going to let something that you can't see guide you, why wouldn't you let it be faith? Because the fact of the matter is, I think that all of us are on a bridge. And the thing about a bridge is, that it's going to lead somewhere. It's going to end at some point. Some people's bridges are short. Some people's bridges are long. But in the middle part of the bridge, you don't know if it's the middle or not until you've reached the end. So a lot of us get on this bridge and we're like, okay, so I'm in this relationship, and eventually I believe it's going to lead me to marriage and kids and whatever it is. Or I started this job and eventually I think it's going to lead to running this company. I started this friendship and eventually it's going to lead to them being my maid of honor, walking me down the aisle. And what ends up happening is the bridge starts to get longer and longer. Because the longer you're on a bridge and you don't see the end, the longer it feels. And so that feeling that you're not reaching the end, it starts to make you panic. Because the thing about making the wrong choice is that you made the wrong choice right away, right? Because negative consequences happen. When you make the wrong decision, everything blares at you and lets you know that you made the wrong decision. But when you're not sure, is because you are on that bridge. So you're not sure if the decision is wrong or right, and that's when we can get the best of ourselves and make the worst decisions, because we don't know when the bridge is going to end. So then we do things that are rash. We're not sure if this is going to lead to marriage, but we know that we love this person, but we know that we want something else and that our heart's not truly in it. So then we do stuff like we cheat, or we start a new relationship before we've ended one. And it's because we are too afraid to bring the ending of our bridge before it comes to us. So this next year, let's all start to live more by faith, not by sight. And let's all use our intuition and let our heart and our mind come together so that we can make decisions for us, and definitive decisions. Because not making a decision is a decision in itself. Not making a decision says you want to stay on the bridge. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't really care to be in the middle of a bridge for longer than I have to. I'm trying to get to the end. All right, guys. If you guys are ready to welcome all of the positive change and abundance for 2025, I want you guys to put in the comments, let it go. Because we're letting go of everything. Like, we're letting go of all the negativity. My motto this year is going to be hire fast and fire faster. It's a business term, but that goes for everything in my life. I'm going to say yes to all the opportunities that come really quickly, and if I realize they're not for me, I'm just going to let it go. Because time is too precious. Your energy is too precious. And ultimately, you get the feeling when something is not right. So use it. Use that intuition. Trust yourself. Does anybody else out there speak? I'll tell you how happy doing this makes me. I get to work today. I get to work. to be around people who are happy because they're welcoming me. Instead of by myself, thinking all the mistakes that I made and how I could have done things differently. So think about it this way. If you hate your job, you get to make money. You get something to hold you over until the next space. All right, guys. It's been really fun chatting with you guys. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this skate, but I really hope that everybody has an amazing New Year's Eve, and I will see you next year.